So this banding station is what we call a MAPS station, and that's an acronym for Monitoring Avian Productivity and Survivorship. And it's a protocol that was established by the Institute for Bird Populations, and anybody on the continent of North America who runs a MAP station, we all collect data the same way. We all follow the same procedures, so we're using the same size nets, we're running them during the same time periods. So when the data gets collected, whether it's collected in Montana or Canada or Texas or New Hampshire, the data has all been collected the same way. So then researchers could take that data and use it and know that there's not a lot of variability because we've all been following the same process to get the data. So it's been great in that way because we're contributing to a kind of an international data set. So while I'm operating under a continental-wide process and procedure with the MAPS program, I'm also using the data to answer a local question. So we're on the Mount Hagen Wildlife Management Area, but in particular, we are on a portion of it that is classified as a Superfund site. And the Superfund designation came from the fact that this site and the surrounding Butte and Anaconda areas received a lot of environmental damage and contamination from the past mining activities and the copper smelting activities in Butte and Anaconda. So there's been a lot of restoration efforts over the past 10 years especially to try to, if you look at the hillside across from us, there's been a lot of work. You could see remnants of a lot of erosion. And the hills were pretty bare, and so there's been efforts to get vegetation growing back on the hills, native grasses and shrubs, to slow that erosion and to just get some habitat back for wildlife. And then this site here, where we have the banding station, this is a young aspen stand. And once the smelter shut off in the 80s, the aspen started to grow back. When the smelter was running in Anaconda, it spewed out a lot of heavy metals and contaminants, and it kind of laid on the soil and got into the water, and things weren't growing very well. But once they shut the smelter down in the 80s, then this aspen stand started to flourish. So the reason I picked this site to put in the banding station is I want to monitor the habitat changes over time. There will be different species of birds that will come in and use this site, use this habitat as the aspen stand matures. So right now we're catching a lot of birds that are cup nesters, such as dusky flycatchers, warbling vireos, yellow warblers, several different warbler species, and they don't necessarily require really tall, mature trees. But the thought is that as this stand matures and continues on this trajectory of becoming a older age aspen stand, then we'll get more cavity nesters in here. So things like woodpeckers and chickadees. We do catch some chickadees now, but we don't catch a lot. But as the trees are older and there's more dead trees standing, we expect that we'll get more of the cavity nesting birds. So it's a way for us to monitor the habitat change over time through the birds that choose to be here to breed and nest.